Okay, so we are talking about skin, and hair is a derivative of skin and is actually derived from the epithelial tissue. So from the epidermis, so it's derived from epithelial tissue. So not connective tissue, but epithelial tissue. When we look at the structure of the hair, you'll notice that there is a hair shaft, and then we have a hair bulb. And so the hair bulb can extend down into the dermis. So this darker pink is the dermis area. And it could even maybe in some cases extend into the hypodermis, which is shown here in yellow. That would be the subcutaneous fat. So there are actually structures that that surround the hair follicle that we've talked about, including the sebaceous gland. So the sebaceous gland produces sebum, which then would travel up and help to lubricate and the hair, but also lubricate the surface of the skin. We also have a muscle here. This is called the erector pili muscle that you need to know. And this is a type of muscle that is under control by the sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight nervous system. And so this can actually cause your hair to stand on end. So we see this in other mammals that have hair, like for example, your cats or your dogs, when they get all excited and they're like attacking each other, the hair will stand on end. It will actually make them look bigger. They get all fluffed up, right? They might actually get all fluffed up if they're trying to retain heat as well. But this erector pili muscle in us is what causes goosebumps. So along on the surface of your skin, if you get goosebumps, oftentimes that is the movement of this hair. So we also have, but it's not shown in here, a neuron that attaches to the hair follicle so that you can actually sense when the hair is moving. So if something is crawling over the surface of your skin, or if wind, for example, is moving the hair on the surface of your skin, you will actually be able to feel it. So this, the hair follicle itself, the hair itself consists of dead keratinized cells. So the hair shaft or the hair follicle, we'll put hair shaft. This is dead keratinized cells. And so you'll remember that these dead keratinized cells are also found on the surface of our skin. So this keratin actually has 3 different layers, these cells do, and it's really interesting when we look at a hair follicle or a hair shaft. When we look at an electron microscope picture of it, we can see that hair, this would be the surface of your skin, this is where it's coming out, and this would be the shaft of hair. So you can see that it has this scaly-like composition. And so like the products that you put in your hair to like smooth your hair might actually affect the way that these scales lay, right? So it kind of smooths the hair down. When we have not had our hair cut recently, for example, and we let our hair grow out, oftentimes we get what are called split ends. And so this would be the end of the hair shaft, and you can see that pieces of it are kind of coming off. And that would also be keratin. So that's the inner part of your hair shaft. So if we look at it in a light microscope, here you can see the sebaceous glands are located right here. This is my keratinized cells right there. They're light in color. There is pigment in those cells that give your hair its color. When you get older and you start to lose pigmentation, then you produce less melanin and your hair turns gray, okay? We also have what is referred to here as your hair bulb. And so in the hair bulb, we actually have actively dividing cells. And those are actually located in a part of the hair bulb called the hair matrix. So the hair bulb, and this can sometimes actually look like a bulb when you pull out, like when you tweeze your eyebrows, or for example, and you pull it out and you see sometimes they're like dark in color. Those would be your melanocytes, and you pull it out and it looks like a bulb, right? So it's called the hair bulb. Sometimes when you pull them out, you don't actually get the bulb part, you just get the shaft. Okay. So the hair bulb has in it what is referred to as the hair matrix. And this contains cells that are live. So these are living cells that undergo mitosis. And they replace your hair. They also allow the hair to grow. And so it's very interesting because as we age, hormones, for example, could change and that hair growth decreases. And so your hair tends to fall out faster than it grows back. And so you get hair thinning. In some people, particularly males, they have a problem with a particular, it's a genetic thing that causes them to go bald, and it causes the hair follicles to just stop growing, right? And so that's a genetic thing that is actually triggered by hormones. That can occur in females too, but it is less common in females because of the way that the genetics work. So another structure that is also associated with your skin, your integumentary system, a part of your integumentary system, would be your nails. So here we see the structure of the nails. This is epithelial in origin as well. So just like your hair, we see that the outer part of the nail, this is hard, right? This is keratin. Again, it is actually a little bit different structurally compared to the other keratin in our body. It's a little bit harder, which is important, right? Protects the ends of our fingers. And so again, we have cells that are actually located in this particular instance, it's in the nail root. And those cells undergo cell division, and so your nail grows. So the free edge of your nail is the oldest part of your nail. And you know you can cut that, and then what will happen is that the cells will continue to grow out and will replace that. The underlying dermis is vascular. And so like if you damage underneath the nail, it might bleed. So if you like hit your fingernail with a hammer, for example, you might get a little hematoma, a little blood clot or blood breakage underneath your skin, underneath your nail. And sometimes the nails fall off, right? And then most cases, they actually will grow back once you do that, right? So the nail is another part of your integumentary system.